You cannot pass. We all remember this moment where we see that unstoppable Balrog meet the immovable Gandalf, and where we see, perhaps for the first time, a glimpse of Gandalf's true power. We all remember Peter Jackson's retelling, where the great winged demon crashed into the depths below, and the two foes crashed together into the icy lake below the foundations of the mountains. Yet, it is precisely that image that had some people ask, why did they fall all that way? Why did the Balrog not use his wings to fly? Welcome back, Meldonjar, to this latest lesson. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of the next lesson, where we will look at the children of the Valar. And for those who cannot wait until then, be sure to check our Patreon, where a few dollars allows you to get a say in what subjects we address and earlier access to the next video. However, this week we will take a deeper look at the Balrogs of Morgoth. This is a surprisingly common question, which touches upon a rather popular discussion. For we all know the visage and stature of the Balrog, gargantuan with horns and leathery dragon-like wings, which should have made it possible for them to fly, right? In The Lord of the Rings, the more animalistic form of the Balrog is not quite there. The ranks of the orcs had opened, and they crowded away as if they themselves were afraid. Something was coming up behind them. What it was could not be seen. It was like a great shadow, in the middle of which was a dark form, of a man shape maybe, yet greater. And a power and terror seemed to be in it, and to go before it. It came to the edge of the fire, and the light faded as if a cloud had bent over it. Then with a rush it leaped across the fissure. The flames roared up to greet it, and wreathed about it, and a black smoke swirled in the air. Its streamed mane kindled and blazed behind it. In its right hand was a blade like a stabbing tongue of fire. In its left it held a whip of many thongs. "Aye, aye," wailed Legolas, a Balrog is come." This is quite different from how we imagine the Balrog itself to be. This version is much closer to how Peter Jackson portrayed Sauron the Necromancer in his version of The Hobbit. Only when Gandalf stops the Balrog do the wings appear. His enemy halted again, facing him, and the shadow about it reached out like two vast wings. It raised the whip, and the thongs whined and cracked. Fire came from its nostrils, but Gandalf stood firm. It stepped forward slowly onto the bridge, and suddenly it drew itself up to a great height, and its wings were spread from wall to wall, but still Gandalf could be seen, glimmering in the gloom. He seemed small, and altogether alone, grey and bent, like a wizened tree before the onset of a storm. Here it is told best. The Balrog did indeed have wings, but they were wings of shadow, not physical, tangible wings. Yet this is not the only time a Balrog is mentioned. When we read in the appendices to The Lord of the Rings, we read of the origin of the very same Balrog that Gandalf faces. The dwarves delved deep at that time, seeking beneath Barad-dûr for mithril, the metal beyond price that was becoming yearly ever harder to win. Thus they aroused from sleep a thing of terror that, flying from Thangarodrim, had laid hidden at the foundations of the earth since the coming of the host of the West, a Balrog of Morgoth. Flying? Yes, flying in the exact same way Gandalf tells the Fellowship to fly when he orders them to run with the greatest haste over the bridge before he faces off with the Balrog. Just as Aragorn and Boromir came flying back, the rest of the bridge cracked and fell. So often Tolkien dances with language, so we mustn't forget that when we read something that confirms something we might hope for. For why else would Durin's Bane have fallen with Gandalf all the way down to the foundations of the mountains? And if we remember the Balrogs from the First Age of the Sun, why would the Balrogs not have flown up into the hidden city of Gondolin instead of besieging it with the rest of Morgoth's armies like they did? We all know what Balrogs are, Meldonyar. They are fiery demons from ages long past. And in our perception of a demon, it would be a chimeric beast of animalistic fury with great speed both on land as well as in the air, threatening us wherever we went. Yet we must also remember that this does not mean that this is every demon, for some demons are older than that vision we have, and though we might call the shapes in the shadow by names that we know, it does not make them more than shadows. And so the Balrog of Moria fell into the abyss when Gandalf collapsed the bridge of Khazad-dûm. No flying to save it. Thus we conclude this chapter and this video. Did the knowledge surprise you? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed it and would like to help us spread the histories of Arda to the wider world, then please take a look at our Patreon and consider joining the different ranks of our supporters and have your names appear on screen here, as well as getting early access to our future videos and other boons. But regardless of that, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified of the next chapter in the Mysteries of Westerness, when we will look at the ancient rumors of the Valar, the powers of Arda having children? But for now, I have been Irjikor Kuruvane, and I wish you all Namarie Meldonyar.